Hey guys, Ben Labadie here, and I am with Marjorie Crew. Marjorie, thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And we're going to be talking today about some politics, some community stuff, and much more. So if you want to, make sure if you're on the replay and watching this later, hit that replay button. And feel free to put your comments in there. Maybe you can get to any questions that people have later. So come on in, say hello, and we're going to get started with a little bit of, who are you? No, because, everybody knows Marjorie Crew. Everybody knows, and you're on my wager list of people that are kind of my locks when I make bets for people getting into council.
I'm on your list?
You're on the list. You're the only one locked in for council right now for my wagers, which a lot of people don't like when I do the wagers, right? But it saves an argument, okay? So you got a lot to live up to. But you've been in the papers, you've started a bunch of stuff, you're engaged in the community a lot. Mm-hmm. So give us a little bit about your background. Oh. Have you always been in Chatham and stuff like that?
Oh, wow. Well,
answer 500 questions.
500 questions or less. Okay, so I come from West Lorne, Rodney area, in the rural area.
Okay.
My mom and dad raised 6 of us. And they were very poor, but we didn't know it. We had a great time living out on the farm and everything. Right. And, we only knew when we got older that we were poor when they'd tell us about some things that we didn't have, or we remember things that we had to do certain ways. But that's where I come from. My father had a workplace accident. He dropped trees for a living. He cut down trees and drug them out of a bush, and he was hit by a tree, and he had a severe injury that left him in a nursing home the rest of his life. So that's how we ended up in Chatham, actually, because the only facility that was secure was the Copper Terrace.
Okay.
But it was called something different. Canadiana.
The
Canadiana. So he ended up living there for his whole life, and my mom moved here to be closer to him.
Okay.
And that's how we all ended up here. I was a young adult, and I came from West Lorne, Rodney. I was there, with my 2 boys, and we came here to follow my family, and we all did, except for one brother, but here we are. And here we are.
So, since you've been here, you've done a lot of stuff. You're engaged in politics and more community stuff than just what I call politics, because politics is politics, but you're more engaged in doing community things that kind of maybe led you into politics. And then I remember Mel Crew was a counselor for a long period of time. I remember always him for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
All right. And my
his matches and his sewing kit.
Yeah, my parents always talk about Mel Crew. If you don't know, Mel Crew used to be a counselor in Chatham Ward 6. And back in the day, and he always gave out matches to. I know my parents remember him at the bingo giving out matches with Mel Crew on it.
Yeah,
he was always loved by so many. And then, did he have any influence on getting you into politics?
He sure did. Yeah, he was actually the one who he called me up one day and said, "Listen, I think one day I'm going to retire, and you need to step up here and do this." I was like, "Oh my God." Talk about big shoes to fill.
Yes.
But yeah, he did have a lot of influence. I could see the way people loved him was, just nothing less than to be admired, because people don't just love someone like that unconditionally. They just really liked him. He was genuine. What you saw was what you got. Right. And there was no airs about Mel Crew and that big laugh of his. But if you called him up, you got a phone call back, and he went there and he took care of your issue, whether he could give you the answer you wanted or not. Right. He was there and always responded. So it was big shoes to fill, but he's certainly missed by our family, of course. And,
of course.
Yeah. So I married his son. Obviously, you can tell that he's not a real dad. So I married his son, Greg, in 1987, and we bought the house in my neighborhood where I live now. And not that Greg wanted to live in the neighborhood, because he lived there his whole life, and he kind of wanted to go somewhere else, but I fell in love with that 100-year-old house, and yeah. So he said, "Happy wife, happy life," and here we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't know what I was going to drag him into. Greg just likes to have a nice, quiet life. And
absolutely.
all our 6 kids were
6 kids.
Yeah, we have
Wow.
6. We have 6. We have yours, mine, and ours.
Wow.
We're very happy and pleased with all of them. They are the reason that we do what we do. And
yeah. Well, I have 2 kids, and I find that to be very difficult. I can't imagine having more than that. And, it's tough.
well, yeah, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
There's
So,
nothing easy about
Let's
kids.
get into what was your first kind of community type thing? Did it start before Eastside Pride? I know everybody knows Eastside Pride is one of your major things, but did it start before that with anything, or was that kind of the one that kind of brought everything to
Well, that's
get political?
yeah, that's actually where I got involved with the community in a different sense. You know, the things that is not the norm around here.
Right, right.
But actually, it was Barbara and Mel Crew that, you know,
Yeah.
you guys need to volunteer. You know,
Yeah.
the voluntold thing, my kids tell me I do.
Right.
But you need to come and work those bingos.
Yes.
You know, or help Mel campaign, or,
Yep.
you know, we would go out and work the bingos, and the money that was raised from those bingos actually built the Wish Center.
Okay, yes.
So that's where we started with my community involvement.
Right.
You know, doing community barbecues with the Woodstock Industrial Institute.
Yeah.
And all of those things that happened back then with, you know, that really good group of people that
so
built that foundation.
is Eastside Pride still going? And
Oh, yeah,
everything?
yeah.
So because that's a big group that you kind of created over a period of time.
It's, yeah, people think it's big, but we just have a big voice.
That's all that matters.
That's all that
You
matters.
need to have the voice.
Yeah, Eastside Pride's still going. The difference with Eastside Pride now is that, you know, we've evolved. We don't need to do that aggressive kind of things that we did with the citizen patrols and things like that.
Is that because of the results that you produced by
Absolutely.
doing everything? So you don't have to do as much because you've accomplished a lot of those goals.
Yeah, we have. You know, if we were still having to do what do the citizen patrols and the reaction to the crime and the drugs in our community the way that we had to back then,
Right.
it would be not so successful. So we would really be spinning our wheels if we were still getting the same results doing the same thing.
Yes.
So now we are enjoying the results of our work, and we don't have to do that type of activity anymore.
Right.
Now those things are still going on, not as bad,
Yeah.
but they're still, because we have a high rental area, I'm sure we'll always struggle with that type
Yeah.
of activity. But Ben, when you care about your neighborhood and you start to take pride in it, those things will back off. And you know, it's educating people about what to do when you have those situations, doing it yourself, or you know, just working together with partnerships, because you can't do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
We're stronger together. I always say that. We're better together, so work together as a community to change things.
Now, a lot of people from other areas, they always look at and try to model things. Have you had anybody from other areas try to model something like that idea from your calls and stuff like that?
Yeah, lots of community groups and communities across Ontario have called us to go and do presentations over the year. Do you know that next year in the summer we will be 20 years old, Eastside Pride?
Really?
20 years. Yeah. When you talk about that, it's like, holy cow! No wonder I'm tired. But you know, it's been a strong group of people that have made this happen, and not just the people that participate in Eastside Pride, but it's the people that you know, who come out and support us, or just, you know, give us a wave and a word of encouragement. People who come to fundraisers, people who come out to barbecues, but we've evolved now, so we're doing more community building activities, investing in the kids in our community.
Absolutely.
Because you want that sustainability, right?
Yes.
You know, you got to change that environment and then make it a good environment for things to flourish, good positive things to flourish. Families, kids to play on the street where they know that, well, you know, when my granddaughter walks from her house to my house, I don't worry one bit.
Right.
You know, that's priceless.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say hi to a couple people. Margaret Schleyer-Stahl. How you doing, Margaret? My mom, Margot Labadie.
I say Margot.
She's my number one fan. I can always count on her for hello. So when I'm asking people, hey, say hi, hit the thumbs up, ask questions, I can always count on my mom.
That's right.
Okay, and hi Ruth, how are you? Okay, so you sat on council for 1 or 2 terms?
Two terms, 8 years.
2 terms, and then you went to run for the mayor. So you made a shot at the mayor, which is not an easy thing to do.
No, that's a lot of work.
And now this time you're back to running for council. So can you tell us a little bit about, number one, the running for mayor, how that changes things, how tough that really is? Sometimes the scrutiny, I know I might have given you a little bit of a hard time asking questions.
Ben, no.
I never give anybody a hard time. But, how tough is that? And why are you not running for mayor this time? Are you...
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Again, 400 questions.
That's okay.
Please answer that fast.
Okay, so what was the first question? Just
first
kidding.
Questions.
So I ran for mayor in 2014 because that was something that I wanted to do, and the time was right for me and my family.
Right.
Running for mayor is a huge job, and you have to be able to focus on that job. Completely. So I gave Mayor Hope a good run. It was a good race.
Everything was very close. I
mean,
close, 1 inch one way, everything changes.
That's right. And and I will say this about Mayor Hope running against him and that other group of people that were in there. Everyone was fair, and we treated everyone with respect, and that was one thing that I came out of there with. A strong respect for that group of people that ran for mayor. And you sure appreciate the work afterwards because Chatham-Kent is not a small community.
No.
And it was a lot of work. It's disappointing. You don't get in that to win. It wasn't my exit strategy by any means. It's last year, and maybe 2 years in, I started thinking about, my intention was, let's give it another shot and see where this lands. But then 4 years is a long time.
Yes.
Life changes.
Right.
I'm really busy at work, and if I was ready to leave that job, that would be, I would do it again. Because if you win, you don't have time to, it's not like you can do that part-time. So that was part of my decision. I love my job right now. I've got a lot of things going on with the community safety and well-being, and at Family Service Camp with the CHAP program and everything. So I got a lot going, and I'm really busy. Other family issues have come up. There's some serious illness with a couple of our family members. So that takes a lot of your attention. So to run for mayor, it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of focus. And if you don't have time to focus on the job and do the job right, then don't step up and do it at all. Don't take that opportunity from someone else. There'll be other elections and other opportunities, and we'll see what happens then. But I wanted to get back in the game, and because I never really got out of it, I was watching and keeping an eye on things.
Well, and you're always active, right? Yeah. You're always active in the community too.
Yeah.
So
that's that.
Hey Tom, how you doing? Pat Burrows.
Hi Pat.
Says hello. So a couple more things. Let's talk about the animal shelter. We had Art Sterling on yesterday talking about it. And what was your role in all this with the animal shelter? You said it was going on for a while, right? So.
Well, the animals, it feels like it's been going on forever. 8 years I was on council with Art Sterling as well. And one of the things that, kept coming up, we need a new animal shelter. There never was a will of council to invest in it, and it is a municipal responsibility. So having said all that, at the end of that term, Art and I found ourselves with a little bit of time on our hands. And, I started, well, what am I going to do? Well, we need a new animal shelter. How do we make that happen? So I started making some phone calls, and I believe Art was making phone calls. I called Bruce Warwick, who, if anyone knows anything about animal shelters and things that have gone on historically with the animal shelter, Bruce Warwick is the passionate person. And so I talked to Bruce, and he said, well, maybe we should talk to Art. Anyway, we connected the dots. And Art and I spoke on the phone eventually, and we said, okay, let's see if we can make this happen. And
then you did.
And then we did. Then we did. But we thought it was only going to be like a year or two. And I'm speaking, we didn't take it for 4 years. It's okay.
We run on Chatham-Kent time here.
That's okay.
Add 10.
As long as we get it done.
Yes.
And the unique thing was that the community partnership, the community that stepped up with the 10 and the 20s and hundreds and thousands of dollars, right?
How much in total was raised?
Oh, see, now you
think
said you told me you weren't going to ask any hard numbers.
I think it was over 700,000.
Way over 700,000.
Lots of money. How about that?
Lots of money. About 40% came from the citizens of Chatham Kent. So, you know, when the citizens stepped up with their share,
right?
You know, here we go. And council jumped in with really strong support. And we're really happy to see that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And Friday is the
groundbreaking.
Okay, exciting
groundbreaking,
stuff. Yeah. Okay, so so you're running for council this time. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, it looks like a tough election for Ward 6. You got a lot of people kind of that are known in the community running. What do you think Ward 6 faces and the community of Chatham Kent faces as their biggest issues in the next 4 years?
Oh, the issues that this council and probably a lot of councils, but this one in particular, and it's been an ongoing thing, is always infrastructure.
Right.
Right. We are a large community, and you hear councilors say it over and over.
Yeah.
It was said when I was there. It is the challenge to make sure that our bridges and roads and the infrastructure that we need is in place to keep our community moving. We are a rural, agricultural community that people count on getting from point A to point B.
Yes.
And it's a long ways. It's not like, you know, in London or Toronto and every, you know, you got 50 people living in a thumb-sized piece, and in ours you got 5.
Yes. Yeah, infrastructure is just because we have such a land mass. It's crazy.
Yeah, and with that comes transportation issues, isolation of our citizens, you know, poverty and housing. All of these things are huge, you know, and making sure we have an age-friendly community. Not just, you know, and I'm not talking about, you know, making sure we have sidewalks and things for seniors. I'm talking about a community that's friendly for citizens of all ages and all abilities and mobilities, and making sure we have affordable housing, making sure that, you know, if seniors are walking downtown, that it's not too cumbersome. Make sure there's enough benches, you know, where they can sit and rest when they're tired. You know, just there's so many different things, you know, that make our community age friendly.
One thing that is hard for age friendly is kind of, we call it food deserts, where areas don't have being able to be close to grocery stores, and I think we do have parts of Chatham like that. How do you address something like that?
As a council, the thing is, councils and governments don't open grocery stores. Right? But they make the climate and the community right for that type of business. Yeah. And so I don't know what the answer is, but it's constant encouragement and endorsement and looking for new ways, maybe partnerships with community members. Maybe it's, you know, better zoning, making things easier and more affordable. I don't know the exact answer because my neighborhood is in a food desert, and when you have to walk or get a bus all the way to No Frills, which is probably the closest grocery store, when you're a senior, it's absolutely debilitating. And when you're isolated, you know, it's easier to be hungry when you can't get your groceries and you're on a limited budget and all of those things. Yeah.
Okay, let's say, hey, if you guys have any questions for Marjorie, don't be scared to ask them. I mean, that's what we're here for, answer questions. And if you're watching the replay after, again, you can throw those questions on and Marjorie will be able to answer some. And hi, Karen Herman. She's looking forward to you serving back on council. Cheryl Faubert, hi, how are you? So yeah, don't be scared to say hello, hit that like button, hit the share button. The whole idea of these is so people can get to know you, all right, and get to know, you know, candidates and be able to, you know, have access and ask you questions that they may have. What do you think of a sports complex? You probably knew that was coming. I ask everybody the sportsplex thing. Well, we'll wrap it up in a couple things here. Well, we got that new casino being built. Okay, and I guess that, you know, in a way that's going to open up more opportunities and more visuals for people to understand that we can have these things. Now, and I believe that soon after we could have something like a sportsplex, especially if people keep on getting people on Facebook Live and pressing them on the issue. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think of the casino? What do you think of the sportsplex?
I love growth, and you know, I love to see those kind of things come to our community. You know, the casino, let's start there. When I heard that it was going on that corner, and I thought, that's great. You know, that's a really nice corner. It's big, it's huge, and there's it always needed something big. I'm sorry to see that leave Dresden and
Right.
move here, but at least the monies, the tax dollars and the revenue from those casinos are staying in our community. I think casinos are fun.
Yes.
Right? Casinos are fun, and so can arenas be. But arenas don't make you any money. And I listen, I'm an advocate for it. I want to see an arena, a twin pad here in Chatham, Kent. I think it's great. But it's where's the money going to come from? And I think the number that I've seen recently is 51,000.
51 million.
51 million. Sorry.
Now, that's
when I
the
was on
number that
council,
they're saying. My idea is around 90 million. Okay?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I recall, if I remember this number correctly, but when I was on council, I think some of the numbers that came back was like 32 million, 33 million. So,
well, the longer you wait to do
The
something
longer
that
you wait.
you should have done, the more expensive it's going to be.
absolutely. And it's just where's the money going to come from, and how will this happen? I am supportive of it. If there's the money there, a way to do it that's responsible for our community,
Right.
I am all for it.
Yeah. Because it does help out with the quality of life in the municipality.
Absolutely.
And
We
stuff like
need to have active communities. We need to have activities for our communities.
So we can count on you once you get on council to find that money by begging from the provincial, federal. I don't, and the community. I guess everybody has to come together.
Maybe we could use the animal shelter model and get the community to pony up some money, and right.
It all starts somewhere. And
It all starts somewhere.
Especially if we keep on talking about it and keep on talking about it, and you guys keep on talking about it. Okay, what else do we got here? You guys have any questions? Feel free to ask. What do you think about voter turnout in the next election? We got online voting. We had a really good voter turnout for the provincial election.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. And with online voting, I think we can get more youth out. What do you think about that? Do you think we're going to see a bigger voter turnout, especially with social media, things like this, where we're getting more words out and the word out?
Yeah, I think that the media did a really good job last time.
Yeah.
I think it was 50+1. That campaign.
Yes,
right?
I remember that.
Yeah, so that was really good. And the media last time they didn't push candidates; they pushed voter turnout.
Right.
And that's really important. I think we need to educate people about the importance of coming out to vote.
Yep.
That idea that it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to make a difference. People need to vote, and they need to understand why it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
We are such a lucky society that we get to choose our leaders.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people civic duty. A lot of people die for that right to vote, and have died so that we can vote.
Yes.
So I don't know what else to say about it. I'm very passionate about people voting, and I hope that the voter turnout is going to be better.
Yeah.
Like it was in the provincial election. Was that because people were angry about something? I don't know. And
they were passionate about voting. That's the one thing.
That's all that matters. Just get out and vote. Vote.
Absolutely. A lot of things of how do we retain youth? Do you have any ideas for? We have a declining population. You see a lot of youth leaving for better employment and stuff like that. What do you have? What would you have for an idea or a way to start things about retaining youth and creating opportunities for youth to stay here, to want to stay here?
It would be, let me see. There's a lot of ideas. Mentoring the youth so that, they understand what happens in our community, and, teaching them trades and skills in our community. I would love to see more higher education facilities in our community, colleges, make the St. Clair College growth. I'd like to see, the University of Guelph, more growth there. When kids go to school, that's usually where they try to land, or, they don't always come back home, right? So that's part of it. Jobs with technology, I was on a farm tour when I was on council, and someone said to me, we keep hearing that we don't have the technology jobs that kids want today. And I just didn't say that, right? But then the farmer said, my whole farm runs on technology.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, You know, it's an eye opener. You know, I don't go back
Oh,
to
yeah.
the farm that much, but really, they're not the mom and pop farm with a tractor. These are
No,
high
that's-
tech farms, and our young people need to know that.
Oh, yeah.
So do I know the answer? I don't know. I'm trying to get my own kids to come back home.
So
Should've.
what else could we do for job creation? So I mean, let's tie in job creation with let's go with what was in the paper yesterday. This foreign investment, foreign trips, which the whole idea is to bring back business, bring back jobs, or create somehow jobs. You want to touch that a little bit? What do you think of? Should we be investing more in foreign trips or foreign reaching out? Or should we grow within? What can we do to kind of figure out a way to create jobs using economic development?
Well, I think that you have to have a healthy balance. We can't close our borders to investments that and trade with other countries and bringing jobs
Yeah.
to our community. But we also need to invest in our community and in the people here. And I think that small employers, which, under 100 people, that's the growth of the future. You know, the Navistars, the Toyotas, all of those places, that they're not here anymore. And if you manage to win that lottery and land one, you better move hell and high water to keep it.
Right.
But I think that we need to be creative with economic development. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure we're investing wisely wherever we go. I don't believe in going over and over and over to foreign countries and not seeing any return on our investment. But I do believe we shouldn't close our minds to what's out there. So it's all about information gathering, education, and we have to be brave too sometimes and take a few risks and do things maybe outside the box.
Yeah, I always felt Chatham Kent has that low risk, less gamble. Now I'm all about gambling. I'm not all about being high risk and
you're gambling
yourself,
on me.
and putting yourself out there. But sometimes the payoffs are so big and so worth it. And I see other communities willing to take that risk or try new marketing things. And I've said for a while, with economic development, do you think our economic development department has the right tools, the right amount of money to actually compete with? Because we're competing with the world, right? Mm-hmm. We're not just competing with other communities in Ontario. We're competing with the world. Do they, in your opinion, do you think they have the right tools right now to get the job done, or would you figure out a way or suggest more tools or more money be thrown at economic development to actually get some results?
I don't want to see money thrown at anything irresponsibly, but if we could prove that there was more money needed to invest and broaden our horizons with our economic development, and it needed money and it needed to be funded properly, absolutely, I would certainly put my hand up, make a motion, whatever it was to get that done. And it's just like tourism. I don't think we market our community near enough.
Right.
I believe that is an untapped job network in itself.
Right.
We have an amazing community, and we do not market it fairly to the world.
Yeah.
We sit on the Underground Railroad, for Pete's sake.
Right.
Come on.
Well,
market it, sell it, brand it.
Yeah, and even over the weekend, you've seen, just on the videos that I've seen and put out and people have shared, there's been over 60,000 people view North Buxton in that rich history there that we have right off the 401.
Right there.
Right off
Just
the
right
401. Let's see here. Karen Herman, what do you think about opening the Highway 401 overpass opened up at Charing Cross Road? Go for that one.
Hi, Karen.
And Aaron Geniac wants to know
how's the truck? The truck's fine, Aaron. We'll bring it in for an oil change. How's that? Complimentary, correct? The 401 overpass. It costs a lot of money, and I know the province has said, the MTO has said, no, we're not funding it. If you want it, build it.
Yes.
Not everyone wants it.
Well,
but a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people
do. So I think that, you've got that long stretch that goes between our community when you come down 401, what does it say? Next 7 exits or something?
Yeah.
Like you're getting off in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
But we're so big.
Then 10 hours later.
10 hours later,
yeah.
right? You hit 40.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, if the money was there and
Right.
we could do it responsibly, sure. But there, you have to look at the whole picture.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure the people on Charing Cross Road there aren't as excited about the idea as many others.
Expropriation of land doesn't get people too excited,
Nobody really
right?
likes that too much.
Yeah.
Too much, no. So back to the marketing of our tourism. I mean, we got beaches, we got history. So you think we could capitalize on a little bit more marketing than that?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you don't beat your own drum and sell your own goods,
Yeah.
How can you expect?
Well, I'm trying to beat my own drum and sell the own 6 a.m. walking group that I have every morning, but I can't even get my brother out.
You can't get your brother out.
It's tough.
I don't know what to tell you about your brother.
He doesn't come out to the walking group. I'll
No.
tell you that. 6 a.m. Monday to Friday. I don't see him.
Good.
No. So what else you got in store that you're doing? And I know you're going to be working on your campaign shortly and getting that going.
Campaigning's not the most fun, right?
I always thought
You campaigned.
I campaigned and I thought it was so much fun. I didn't win, but
then you did something wrong. What did you do wrong?
I didn't wave enough on the corners, stuff like that. So, but I do the 3 strikes and you're out type thing.
Did you? How many times did you run?
I ran 3 times.
You did.
Yes.
You got close the last time. Didn't
I
you?
did get close.
Yeah.
Yes, and then if I would have ran one more time, a 4th, I would have had the votes.
And why didn't you?
I was going through some issues, man. I was going through a separation. This hasn't turned into an interview about me.
See?
But no, you got life issues and life changes. I had a studio fitness gym I was doing at the time, and it just it was not that time to run.
Yeah,
so.
campaigning is hard.
Yes,
campaigning
is
if
hard.
you do it right, it's hard.
Well, I was scared of the 4-year commitment, right? Having to do that. So, because you don't know where you're going to be in 4 years or where you're going to be in 2 years, and I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Do you know the 4-year? I was my first year of council was the first 4-year term.
Yep.
And when I got to the 3rd year, I thought, God, if it was done right now, I'm just starting to figure all this out.
Yeah.
And I needed that 4th year to really start to feel like how get my feet wet and get really dig in. You spend the first couple of years just a blur, learning, reading, learning, and more. Learning.
So, do you feel it is quite a shock? Like one side, there's campaigning, then the idea of getting in, and the idea of being a counselor. Then you actually become a counselor. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different world, right?
Oh boy, is it?
Yeah.
I remember I said to Karen Herman, I said, so like who teaches you the parliamentary rules of procedure and everything? Because it seems very tight. She goes, oh, you're kind of on your own with that. I was like, okay, all right. So I watched every time, what everyone else would do, and I did a lot of reading and on that stuff. But yeah, you really need to educate yourself, and but you're right. That campaigning, it's different. It's fun. It's like vote for me, and people are asking you questions, and not a lot of people ask you good questions, and but then you get to the next part where you win, and then it's just like, oh, now what? Right, now what? What do they expect? And my first election, I came in second in Ward 6.
Yep.
So that kind of threw me because I was almost sick because I thought, I just want to creep in the bottom there, not even be noticed, right?
Low expectations.
Nope, right up there at the top. And I thought, I was afraid. I didn't know what to expect. And then the next election, I came in first. So, but that was because I think, the second time you go through, if you haven't done the work that you need to do, the community's not going to step up and support you, right? But so anyway, I answer your question. So you get in there, and the administration and staff are really good at bringing you in and teaching you things and about the budget and how things work, and this is the book, and this is the lines, and this is the way we do this, and this is zoning, and you have to know a little bit about everything. This is about the PUC, this is about electricity. Oh, and this is what we do with that. It's like, holy cow.
What is the craziest request you ever had as a counselor from a citizen? I imagine you get some stuff that you can possibly look into, and then there's some stuff that's just way out there. that you
But
can't.
this one comes back up at me once in a while too, and it was kind of crazy. But I had some folks that were interested in having backyard chickens.
Okay.
Do you remember? Anyway.
I don't remember the backyard chickens.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so anyway, that some people wanted to have backyard chickens. It's not unreasonable that people want to grow their own food. Mm-hmm. But so I just put a motion forward that we investigate having backyard chickens, making it legal. And some people really got excited about that. That those chickens, those roosters in your backyard are going to make a lot of noise. Well, roosters are not hen-laying chickens.
Right.
You know that. They make noise. But if you put a rooster with a hen, you're not going to get executed. Anyway, so that ended up not passing. And the reason I brought it forward, not that I wanted chickens in my yard, but some reasonable people wanted chickens, and so I brought that forward to, because
I would like a pet goat. Can you have a pet goat in the municipality?
I don't know. Karen Herman's on there, so you can ask Karen if she'd bring that motion forward before she's
I want
done.
a pet goat. I live in Ward 6. What can we do? Because have you seen goats? I go on YouTube a lot, and you can just YouTube goats forever. So if you're on YouTube goats.
Why do they fall over?
Well,
they have little seizures or something, don't they?
I don't know. I think they just
go
give
boom.
up, call her a day, and fall over. So, anything last you want to say, and we'll get this wrapped up. We'll be here we've been here for a little while here. But again, anytime you guys want to, you can
do the country.
We need more goats in Ward 6. Yes, sir. We need more goats. It's all about the goats. Again, if you guys have any more questions, again, on the replay, if you're watching this later, you can ask questions, and hopefully you can get back to them. Most people, it's 4:30 now or whatever, so a lot of people aren't really on Facebook watching live, but they will watch later, I know that, and you'll get some questions. So anything, last thing that you want to say to people, and hopefully we can have you back to answer questions as the election goes on and there's more issues. But anything that you want to say as a candidate, promoting yourself?
Oh, geez, okay, yeah. Let me see. I hope that you will support me in Ward 6. I'm not going to do goat yoga, though.
Goat yoga.
She's like that.
The goats are big. People love goats.
I bet you Bev wants a goat.
Bev, do you want a goat? Yeah, we gotta get goats.
Of course she does. Donnie wants a goat. Anyway, I would really appreciate you supporting me in Ward 6 come October 22nd. Thank you, Ben, for having me here. If you want to talk to me, give me a shout. I'm accessible. Most people can find me. They usually just come to my house.
Just knock on your door.
Show up. But thank you, and thanks everyone for watching. And
awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we will talk later, and we'll have another guest next time, and hopefully you will be back during the election. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.